You had a 100 fight winning streak. How were you able to accomplish that?
Thai fighter, they fight hard.
100 wins with no losses. Yes, this untouchable legendary fighter is so good that he once went 100 wins without losing a single time. Like Bruce Lee would say, this legend is like water. He can flow and he can crash.
Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
At this level, he is so good that he doesn't even need to think anymore. He just feels.
Don't think. Feel.
As a teammate of the greatest of all time, Sanchai, their legendary coach said that out of the two of them, Lerdsila is even more talented. Yes, Pipa, the legendary head coach of Jockey Gym, said that out of everyone he had ever trained, Lerdsila is the most talented out of all of them. And it's no surprise when you look at him fight. He is just absolutely ridiculous. Look at how he sees everything coming and makes all of his opponents look absolutely foolish. Many people ask, how does this legendary fighter fight without a guard? They also ask how he uses head movement and reflex for defense like no other Muay Thai fighter can. Fight fans, welcome back to another episode of Lawrence Kenshin Striking Breakdowns. Thanks to your curiosity, we spoke directly with Lerdsila to ask those questions. In this episode, we will explore how Lerdsila does the impossible things that he does. Lerdsila isn't so great just because his lineage was the very best of Muay Thai. Indeed, it wasn't just because he has one of the best coaches of all time and the greatest teammates around him. That certainly helped a ton. But it also comes down to the way he looks at martial arts. You see, as a fan of all styles, Lerdsila loves to copy other martial arts. Bruce Lee once said, absorb what is useful, reject what is useless, and add what is essentially your own. And that is exactly what Lerdsila did with all martial arts. Like Bruce Lee, Lerdsila loves to incorporate different styles to make his own unique style. Indeed, when you look at the different elements of Lerdsila, there isn't any one particular thing he does that other fighters haven't done before. But when you combine all the things Lerdsila does together, he is a completely unique fighter. That is, no one else in the history of fighting moves like Lerdsila. He is an all-style fighter, with the ability to dodge any strike at any time. He can do all of this without a guard most of the time too. How can someone possibly be so defensively sound without a guard? You see, when a fighter lowers his hands, his body becomes more relaxed. Without the hands and arms blocking the eyes, the hands down fighter gains better vision. The relaxation, along with the vision enhancement, allows for better reactions to all of the opponent's movements. This is a really big part of how Lerdsila can read everything the opponent does. By having perfect vision of his opponents, and a vastly superior pattern reading ability, Lerdsila can adjust to all incoming attacks perfectly. Just look at him flawlessly dodging his opponent's strikes. See how he flawlessly anticipates the distance of a punch and exactly when to check a kick. There has been no other person in Muay Thai that can utilise defence like Lerdsila can. But all the defence in the world won't win a fight by itself. To be a truly untouchable technician, Lerdsila needs to be able to control his opponents. His best ways for control is his jab. Lerdsila can deliver this from all angles. He can deliver it especially from a low guard. On top of the boxer's jab, there's also the Muay Thai jab, which is with the foot. This is also known as the teep or push kick. With this attack, Lerdsila can also control his opponents at the kicking range. His push kick is so effective that he can park the leg on his champion opponents and completely nullify their attacks. It's an extremely advanced move that few others know how to do, and even fewer dare to try in the ring against championship opponents. You see, all of this falls under the umbrella of distance management. True technicians, such as the Muay Thai Mer stylist like Lerdsila, understand that distance management is the key to championship success. His jab and push kick controls the range so perfectly that he dictates exactly when and where an exchange will happen. But there is so much more to how he creates order out of chaos. The next important thing that allows Lerdsila to read his opponents like a book is because his opponents strike in a particular manner. You see, most strikers shift from left to right, or right to left when striking. This is a feature of fundamental striking, but for a pattern reading grandmaster like Lerdsila, this is extremely easy for him to fight against. Lerdsila has hundreds of ways to counter every move his opponents make, and he can easily interrupt this type of predictable rhythm. To have a chance against Lerdsila, one must also be unpredictable. In Lerdzila's own striking, he is constantly changing levels, and also changing the speed and power of each strike. Lerdsila often chains same side attacks, and pieces together unorthodox moves that few other people attempt. This makes him unpredictable in his offense, helping him score many easy knockouts when he's done playing with his opponents. When it comes to Lerdzila's offense, it is built by feints and tricks. Whenever his opponent thinks he's going to throw one type of attack, it's never so straightforward. Lerdsila isn't even a powerful striker compared to knockout artists, but the most dangerous attack is the one that an opponent can't read or see. An unexpected hit produces the most damage. This is why, despite Lerdsila not focusing on power in his strikes, and instead focusing on speed, he can still knock out many of his opponents. Many people would think that Lerdsila is just posing and trying to look cool, with his stance low and his hands down. But when Lerdsila is in his power stance and planted to the floor, he is using this stance to see his opponent's full body. This, he said, allows him to keep full vision of the opponent and allows him to see all attacks coming. Against great kickers, he would do this more often. He likes to do this with his hands down because against most of his opponents, he simply doesn't need a guard. His footwork, evasive slips and leans are more than enough. But this hands low power stance also gives him unpredictable punches. Even more, it gives him the ability to slip punches like a boxer. Many Muay Thai fighters prefer not to slip punches because their stance is too tall and it's also easy to slip right into a head kick. But because Lerdsila is also a master of high kicks, he knows exactly what to watch out for when he's doing it. There's so many nuances in Lerdzila's striking system that no one out there knows except Lerdsila. That's why together we created the Lerdsila Untouchable striking system. This video curriculum has over 100 masterclass tutorials taught by Lerdsila himself. So if you're interested in Lerdzila's system, check out the link in the description. If you enjoyed this episode, please do watch another episode of Striking Breakdowns. I'm Kenshin, and thank you for keeping our channel alive.